Hey, this your girl, Miss Shawn. Thank you for tuning in to the 12 o'clock Real Talk session. I have a friend of mine. She's a Facebook friend, but she's also a faithful listener to the station and a faithful listener to the Real Talk session. So she had a situation that she needed help with. She's been engaged to her fiance for about 5 months now. They both agreed that they would continue to live separately, and when they get married, they're gonna move in together. The problem comes is he wants to move to a better neighborhood, and she wants to kind of stay where she is. He's living in an apartment, so of course that's not going to work out at all because he has like a little small apartment. But she has a house that she's living in, a 3-bedroom house that a family member gave her, and she's been living there for years. The problem, he doesn't like the neighborhood that she live in. And it's not that it's a bad neighborhood, that it's gangs and drugs and stuff going on, because there's none of that going on. But he just doesn't like the neighborhood. He wants to move into a neighborhood that has bigger houses, just a better neighborhood. And she's like, well, I have this house that I own. My mortgage is not that much. I really want to stay here. Well, she compromised with him, and she said that she would go with him to look at these different houses. So they did. And the houses that they've looked at is houses where it's like $500 over the amount they should be paying. And she's like, well, if something happened with the mortgage she's paying now, if something happens to her where she can't work or he can't work, the mortgage is still affordable where somebody can take care of the house with one income, because she lives there now and she's taking care of the house with only her income. But if they move into this better neighborhood where it's $500 over both of their incomes, if something happened, they're going to be struggling and they might end up losing the house. And he feels like, why think about all that? We can afford it now. Ain't nothing going to happen. Let's go ahead and get this house. And she's like, no, things always happen. And, it may not happen. We might live there forever. But, neither one of them have kids. She wants to go ahead and have children. So she feels that, she might want to take some time off to raise her baby for the first year or two instead of trying to rush and go back to work. And he's with agreement of that, but he wants to go to this better neighborhood. And she can't talk him out of it. He's determined on getting in a neighborhood that's better, getting in a neighborhood where the houses are over what they can afford. Now, they can afford the mortgage. They just have to cut out some things like going out of town, going out to eat. They have to cut out some things, and they'll basically be living from paycheck to paycheck. And she doesn't want to do that. She wants to live comfortably like she's doing now, where her mortgage, her bills get paid, and she still have money left over to have fun with. And even though both of their incomes are going to be combined, it's still $500 over what they first agreed that they're going to pay. And so she is having a problem with that. He's not looking at her side saying, hey, let's get something that we can afford. We can move somewhere. That's not a problem. I can sell my house and we can use that money and put it towards furniture and different things like that. So she's not having a problem with moving. She just has a problem with moving to a home that they're going to be living paycheck to paycheck. And I have a home and I'm single right now. And if I was engaged and we wanted to combine our households, I would probably say the same. That I'm willing to move, that's not a problem at all, but I'm not willing to move somewhere where it's over my price range. Because you have to live comfortably, as well. Right now, I'm living in my house. I'm able to go on different vacations. I'm able to go shopping. I'm able to do the things that I'm doing. So when I get married, I want to be able to do the same thing. I don't want to have to cut out going on vacations and doing different things because we have this bigger house that we have to take care of and we don't have the money to do anything else. I wouldn't want to do that. I think I would be real miserable with being in a situation like that where I'm working and not able to enjoy my money, but I'm living in this big fancy house that I'm living paycheck to paycheck. And I would also be fearful that something could happen. Of course, I'm healthy and I would want to be with a guy who's healthy as well. But things happen. We live in a world where anything goes, anything can happen. And I definitely don't want to be in a situation where I can't afford the house that I bought. Then I gave up my old house to get this house. And now I have to go and look for an apartment or whatever, I have to do because I can't afford this mortgage. So I would say to continue to talk to him, bring in your family members, his mom, your mom, you guys all sit down and talk about it, because right now he's not really looking at the fact that you want to live comfortably. He wants to live in a nice house, which who don't want to live in a nice house? Who don't want to live in a fancy 2-story house with big giant kitchen and patio, backyard, swimming pool? Who don't want to live in something like that? But you have to live in something that you can afford, and you have to think realistically, because jobs come and jobs go. I've been on my job for about almost 11 years. That doesn't mean that I'm going to be on this job for 13, 14, 15 years, because anything can happen. And I want to plan for my future. I don't want to plan for, and things happen, I don't want to be looking up and I don't have a job and I'm struggling to try to pay for this place because my husband wanted the place. So you just have to think realistically and bring other people. If he's not listening to you, then you need to bring some more people in where, he can wake up and really look at what's going on. And even if you have to put it down on paper, write down the money that he's getting, write down the money you're getting every month, write down how much you're spending on your bills, your mortgage, food, and all that. And he do the same with how much he's paying for his rent and bills and food and all that stuff. You guys look at the two lists, and then you kind of estimate, because you don't know how the bills are going to go. You don't know how all of that's going to go, but you just estimate the bills and then estimate the mortgage that he wants to go to. You write it down, and then you show him, what you have left. And, if you even have any money left, you show him that, because sometimes people have to see it verbally. They're listening to you, but they actually have to see it to know what you're talking about. I'm one of those people. You can tell me, something over and over again, but if I don't see it, it's a different story. And sometimes I come into reality when I'm actually seeing it black and white. You just verbally telling me, sometimes it doesn't, I don't register in you verbally telling me something. So maybe he might be one of those people that you have to put it in black and white so that he can see, so he can fully comprehend what you're saying. And like you said, you don't have no problem with moving, Maybe you guys can just move to a neighborhood where it's not so expensive, where, both of you guys can come to some agreement where it's not too much and it's not too less. It's not a neighborhood where he doesn't want to live, because at the end of the day, both of you guys have to live there. You guys are getting married, and both of you guys need to be happy with your decision. If he doesn't want to live in the house that you live in, that's fine, because you don't want to make him live there if he's miserable, but you have to bring out that pencil and paper and just show him what you're talking about, because he may not be getting it. If any of the listeners have some advice for her, if you was in that situation where your husband or your wife, now, when you guys were engaged, you guys went through this process and he wasn't too happy with your house, or she wasn't too happy with your house or living situation, but you made it through, or you guys compromised and went down the middle, let us know what you did to solve your problem. Visit our Facebook page at RP Entertainment Radio, or you can call us on Uvu at RPENTRADIO, or tweet us at RPENTREQSTLINE. And remember, show your girl some love each day at 12 o'clock p.m. Central Time for the Real Talk session. Until next time, hugs and kisses.